So, uh, Pablo, who's Pablo? I got it from here. So, Pablo La Parra Perez. And I want to say one thing that in Spain we have two last names, and one is from our father, one is from our mother. I say because sometimes people think that, well, this is the last one, this, well, just to let you know. And sometimes even we put a slash to let know that this we use both of them. So, uh, Pablo, I'm saying everything of this because I'm looking for your bio. But you are the well, we got you here because you are the person who I got here, who was responsible for the project Cinemaldia 70, All Possible Histories. Um, and also your background is you did your research studies in New York, didn't you?
At NYU,
A
correct?
PhD at NYU, and where he also has taught. He holds a MA in Comparative Studies of Literature, Art, and Philosophy from the Universitat Pompeu Fabra. That's in Barcelona. Am I right?
Correct.
The city where my mother was born. And BA in Art History, Universidad de Valencia, which is another area of Spain. So you've been all around Spain, all around the world. And his academic work has been published in international journals such as Journal of Spanish Cultural Studies or Sociologías, and in volumes such as 1968 and Global Cinema. That's a very good one. And Anthony Abad Megaphone and Facing Humanity. He has received several research and graduate fellowships, such as the International Dissertation Research Fellowship and La Caixa Master's Fellowship, as well as different awards, including the Spanish National University Award. In 2016, he directed an artistic research project about the militant film archives entitled Europa Futuro Anterior, Europe Previous Future, could be in English, like that, co-sponsored by Tabacalera and Donostia. And well, part of your research also is about militant film, isn't it? But then, you got in 2018 into Cinemaldia 70, which is a very dear project to me. I think it's a very interesting project for researchers, for an archive. If you want to add something to your bio, you can do it, or as in the wedding, you can be silent forever. But how did you got into this project?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for your invitation, Antonio, and also for the colleagues who decided to join us in the conversation. I think the video, as you presented, it's more than enough. So we can go straight to your question and how we started with this project Cinemaldia 70. I think it is important to start by underlining that this project was a joint initiative of the San Sebastian International Film Festival and Elias Querejeta Cinescola. Probably the San Sebastian Film Festival doesn't need a further introduction. We all know that it's one of the major festivals in Europe. It's clear that it's the most relevant international film festival in the Spanish-speaking world, and it's a well-established institution with more than 70 years of history. On the other side, we have Elias Querejeta Cinescola, which in 2018 was a very new academic project. We are talking about a research and academic center that started that very year, and among the many singularities of the center, we started a research department. Having a research department inside a film school is not the most usual thing in traditional academic structures. And we were aware that we needed a great and ambitious initial project to launch our research program. And when we heard about the largely unknown archives of the San Sebastian Film Festival, we decided to do a little research on this unknown collection And we quickly understood that we had the opportunity to launch a very ambitious project in collaboration with the film festival itself. So more or less, we found ourselves thinking how to conceptualize research in our center, and we found this amazing opportunity, which was working together with the festival to create their own archive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I want to say also to our dear colleagues or audience that whenever they have a question, so I'm the host, I started doing the questions to make it easy. I have some questions about this project, but also whatever question you have, you can put it on the chat. You can raise your hand and intervene, whatever. This is like a free ambience, we could say. Uh, that's a very interesting question. That's a very interesting thing what you said because, well, there were several materials that they were archived, but how were they structured? Because I think sometimes the festival started as a maybe familiar thing, and some things I yes, you confirm, and I guess there was some things that people had in their homes. I don't know how was the archive. How did you have to work with it to structure or to tag the different materials you had?
When we talk about archival projects, it is very important to question ourselves where do we find the materials. In this case, we are talking about an institutional archive. You are perfectly right. In any archive, in any research topic, you can find important elements which are stored in private collections. But in this case, we decided to specifically work with the institutional archive. This is the materials that the festival had, let's say, stored or accumulated over near that at that moment 70 years of history. The collection we found was not a proper archive. If we talk in professional terms, it is nowadays after we finished our 4-year project. But it has to be said that there is no discovery because all these materials were preserved because different generations of workers from the festival were sensitive enough to take care of these materials. They were aware, even if they were not like employing professional standards of preservation and catalogation, they were aware that these materials could be important in the future. So if we were able to start this project, it is because these anonymous workers throughout the history of the festival were taking care of these materials. And all of this was all the materials. We are talking about a huge collection. We can go into some detail if you think it's interesting, Antonio. But all these materials, this vast collection of documents, photographs, posters, journals, were in a storage room in the outskirts of the city, in which the festival was like storing different stuff. There you could find from a document from the 50s together with a piece of the red carpet, literally, or some beers that were stored because a sponsor left them there. So it was a quite curious treasure island to start working in, and a very exciting challenge.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You said, if I'm curious, absolutely curious. How did you have to work with, well, all these things that were all together to classify? And I guess, did you have an initial schedule or did you have like, a deadline when you had to have everything? Because at the beginning, it should be like, wow, what is all this, isn't it?
Yes, it was quite intimidating, and we did have a deadline, a very clear one, indeed. Our deadline was 2022. This is the 70th anniversary of the festival. This is the 70 that appears in the title of the project. Cinemaldia means a film festival in Basque, and 70 means the 70th anniversary. So it was clear to us that we had 4 years ahead to complete our goals. And our goals were, we need to guarantee the long-term preservation of all these materials. There were in actual risk of suffering irreparable damages. And we need to create an accessible collection. This huge mass of documents must become a public and accessible collection. And since we were and we are really ambitious, we decided to establish a third goal, which was activating critical research on these materials from scratch. We did not want to wait until the archive is accessible. We wanted to intervene the technical process of constructing the archive with the development of critical narratives around the festival. So this was a very, very important goal for us. So the short answer on how to do this is thanks to collective work. I had the honor of being the principal investigator of this project, but this project has been possible because of the collaboration of a huge and amazing team of professionals and institutions who joined us in the adventure. As I said, this was a joint initiative of the festival and our film school, but very soon we had the support of the Basque Film Archive, which is like the professional archival facilities in which the archive is preserved right now. We also had the support of Media Lab Tabacalera. This is a library and digital lab whose professionals were instrumental in designing all the catalog standards and procedures. We also had the support of the Kucha Foundation. This is a private foundation with an amazing photographic collection, and we collaborated with them to preserve not only the photographs preserved by the festival, but also the photographs in their collection related to the festival. And we also had the sponsorship of the Spanish National Lottery. And then mentioning all this huge constellation of institutions to put at the fore something which is very important. Working with archives, it's time-consuming, it's difficult, and it's very, very, very expensive. And we all know that we live in a moment in which research projects in the domain of the arts and the humanities are suffering several cuts, are suffering from the wrongly called austerity measures, and it is necessary to really be creative and invite to the table different institutions to create these kind of clusters, interinstitutional clusters, to engage in ambitious research projects. And I think that some of the biggest successes of our project is to create this operative federation of institutions that made the success of the project possible in the end.
Okay. You talk about the importance of research. Alongside the website now, Archivoa, SanSebastianFestival.com. We've seen it on the recording in Radio Scene. I'll put it in the link in the chat. We have a space that's called Research, where there are different research and even online exhibitions. Is this the work you have done? And how has it been developed? Is by different students of Elias Querejeta Escola? How has it been done?
Archivoa, the website you mentioned, is like the final outcome of the project. It's like the digital window of the archive. It's the main space in which users can interact with our archive. And also, as you correctly said, with the research work we have been doing during these 4 years. But this was the final outcome. Every year, during the duration of the project, we organized different study days, conferences, seminars, exhibitions. We published papers, book chapters. We participated in conferences because, as I said in the beginning, for us it was like very, very, very important not to reduce archive work to technical procedures, which are extremely important and extremely sophisticated. And I really want to underline the relevance of technical work, because without this technical knowledge, it is impossible to create a usable archive. But it was very important to us to simultaneously generate critical discourses, to generate, let's say, a curatorial line to explain to society why this archive was important. And we had like very, very strong points of view. And we tried by all means to generate an original point of view on the history of the festival. One paradox of such a well-established and well-known institution such as the San Sebastian Film Festival or others is that we are talking about media spectacles. Film festivals are, among many other things, a huge media spectacle. It is there is like a huge saturation of narratives around festivals, and festivals themselves are very sophisticated machines in generating their own narratives. So what we wanted to do with this availability of unknown primary sources, archival sources, our fundamental research question was, how can we tell a different story of the festival? In fact, the right way of saying it, it's histories in plural. We were a bit tired of the traditional histories of the festival, of revisiting the same cliches, of revisiting the same topics one way and another way. We all know that Hitchcock came to the festival in 58, which is an amazing fact, a very relevant fact, but maybe it is time to also pay attention to other aspects of the institutional, film, social, and political history of the festival, besides the well-known visit of stars such as Bette Davis, Elizabeth Taylor, or Alfred Hitchcock, which of course are an essential part of the history of the festival, but we wanted to make the most of the availability of these primary sources to tell a different history, different histories of the film festival.
Yes, absolutely. And also one of the things, one of the characteristics of the archive from the beginning is that it was going to be an open archive. So you said it's available for everybody. We as researchers think that's very interesting, but how have you done that? Because I remember the other day, I don't know who I was talking with, but not everything is available through the website, but a great part of it is. I remember, I worked a lot, and I even did a documentary about, San Sebastian filmmaker Javier Aguirre, and I searched for when he received the main award for his short film, and I never seen him so young, so I think for me, for family, it's very interesting. But when you have to dig into different documents, sometimes, they say, no, this picture is not available, or when you have to see some different things. And as you said, I guess not everything can be available because sometimes you have to take care of it. How is it? How is the availability of the full archive?
There are two ways of using our archive. One is through this digital portal, Archivo-A, in which, of course, there is only a fraction of the total amount of holdings available. This is just because it is impossible to digitize everything. As I said, archive work, it's expensive. There are technological limitations and budget limitations. And I think it's also important to underline the materiality of the archive. I think probably not in this context in which we are among scholars with actual archive-based experience, but in more general terms, there is a quite naive idea about the immediate availability of materials in the cloud. And the cloud has a materiality. Producing digital versions of material artifacts involves thousands of hours of work of highly trained professionals, and it's just impossible to have everything digitized. So we were obliged to make a selection. And this is why, among many reasons, it was important to have a critical discourse, because our critical discourse helped us establish protocols of priorities. What is going to be digitized and what not. And if you browse through the thousands of photographs we have made available on our website, there is an explicit will to decenter the narratives of the festival. We are not reproducing, once again, only the images of the great stars. We're also, for instance, trying to put at the fore the relevance of women filmmakers, of female workers who were important in the history of the festival, in the festival staff. We are trying to diversify the origin of the filmmakers who have been represented in the history of the festival, trying to decenter the Euro-American bias, which has characterized traditional narratives of the festival, and so on, and so on, and so on. So our criteria to determine what is going to be available or not online is also informed by our critical principles. This is about the availability of materials online, but if you're interested in some letter from Javier Aguirre or from other filmmaker that it's not digitized, you can visit us in San Sebastian. We have an amazingly nice team of colleagues who are here to help, and you can consult and browse the documents on site. This is why we have a very generous catalog on the website with a lot of metadata and information that allows you to prepare your visit in advance, and you can consult all the materials. There is an important nuance here, with more than 15 years from now. Because we made a difference between what we call the administrative archives, which are materials with less than 15 years, which is the archive that it's alive. It's still part of the everyday activities of the festival. And then we have the historical archives, starting with 15-year-old materials to the origin of the festival. This is completely open for in-person consultation in our premises in San Sebastian.
Very good. Absolutely. Yes, and this, I want to also take the chance to say about the transparency of the festival, because the festival also from lots of years ago has available some different reports, and lately it's been reports about sustainability, and also gender equity. And well, in this sense, it's not only, as you said, and I've put the picture of the different administrative archives, but also the current actual history. I haven't seen our audience is very correct. They're not asking questions. I have lots of questions for you, but in any time they have questions, please do ask for it. As you said, you have a specific timeline. And remembering, I've seen that Cannes had a project for Cannes 75, and then it disappeared. Even they named the person, but it disappeared. But you managed to do it even with the pandemic. Did it hit or did it affect somehow your project, your deadlines, your priorities, what you could do or what you couldn't do?
Absolutely. And this is something which remains is probably the only bitter thing I can say about this project, which in general terms has been such a source of joy and professional satisfaction. The pandemic impacted the festival in a very direct way. And in particular, it affected one of the most ambitious programs we started, which was an oral history of the festival. We started conducting interviews with elder people, and it was like a very delicate and confusing situation to do during the pandemic and during the very long lockdown in Spain. So we decided to cancel it. And this was like a very painful decision for us, and something I regret very much, but I really hope that in the future, since this is a living archive and we're still working on it, we'll have the chance to reactivate this initiative. But yes, this was one of the clearest impacts of the pandemic.
Wow, somebody who also had a very important archive and has been a director of San Sebastian Film Festival, Luis Gasca. I knew him a lot. He was also a friend of Javier, but I was going to, and I conducted several interviews with him about the festival for my dissertation, but we were scheduling the next one. And he said, well, I'm working now in my comic book and I'm working on it. And finally, well, the pandemic took him. So there are several voices. And I think also it happened with a relevant figure of the festival, like El Notario, the notary. He died recently, didn't he? So there are several stories that are going to be untold because, well, time passes, of course. But, well, it's good to know that you have that project, that some things can be fully achieved, of course. Okay, so there is a question related with research that in this case, you have the support of the festival, you have the support of the school. There is like an ecosystem that's very related to the festival. But what about research unrelated to the festival? Are people taking advantage of your open archive? Are there appearing several research about it?
Yes, absolutely. So as you said, before we opened the archive in 2022, the research was conducted by a team of 4 different teams of graduate students from Elias Querejetas Escola that under my direction, we established different research focus. We can discuss this later if you want. But after the opening of the archive, of course, we are receiving visits from national and international researchers. And we are very happy because we are realizing that the archive, as we knew, but when you have external output, it's always a satisfaction. It's a powerful tool for research. And certainly this collection is filling a gap in the available resources for film culture in Spain. It is a fundamental source to be combined with, of course, other collections, the Spanish National Film Archive, the Spanish National Administrative Archive, etc. But really, the materials we preserve here are fundamental pieces to tell and reconstruct very complex cinema histories. Also, we are very happy because since last year, we are managing to offer every year research grants to support research stays for, in this case, Basque and Spanish researchers. Last year, we had 6 researchers in residency, and they are producing amazing research outcomes. And right now, as we speak, the new call for entries is open. It's closing, if my memory is not failing, next Friday. Maybe I'm wrong, but in the next week, it's closing.
Yeah, very close.
And and it's a call open to Basque and Spanish researchers. We hope in the future to be able to mobilize funding to also attract international researchers, because I think the interest and reach of our archive goes well beyond the Spanish frontiers. I think it's a very appealing archive even for international researchers, since the international relevance and complexity of the San Sebastian Film Festival goes well beyond the national limits of Spain.
Yes, and in any case, the researchers are researchers who are recognized for having published previously internationally, and now I think they've done previously very interesting work. I like that the name, correct me if I'm wrong, but the name of the archives, we have it now in Radio Cine for the screen, is José Ángel Herrero Velarde, who was El Notario, the notary. Wasn't he? So it was a very, very important figure in San Sebastian Festival.
Yes, he was like a historical member of different selection committees, someone who struggled in the very difficult years of the transition between the dictatorship and the democracy to keep the festival alive. And he was actively participating in the selection committee of the festival, literally until he died. He literally devoted his life and his energies and his intelligence to the festival. It was like a very tragic loss. And naming the research fellowships after him was like a little homage we decided to make, because he was like this living memory of the festival himself.
I remember seeing him when I was talking with Luis Gasca. It's January 2020. We didn't know what was going to happen. And he was in Tabacalera, walking around, and, always, of course, was involved with cinema. But also you talked that we could talk about the research, because you've been presenting before opening the archive. I think it was every year the work you've been doing with your students. And, part of the work, it was like a quotation of the festival. The festival is 25 years old. We don't like it. But you discovered a lot of things in that research and lots of other research, which, as I said, you presented every year, and that I guess you're going to keep on doing in addition to what other researchers do. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes. As I said before, our goal was to encourage research inquiries that shed light on unknown aspects of the festival, even uncomfortable ones. So we started in the first year of the project. I will try to be as concise as possible because I could spend like hours talking about this. But the first year, yes, I don't want to torture you, but in the first year of the project, we investigated something that I already said, the transition. After dictator Francisco Franco died, a very complex process of social, cultural, and political transformations started in Spain, and in particular in the Basque Country. And we decided to analyze how this climate of social unrest impacted the festival. And what we discovered is that during these years, the festival became a space for experimentation, aesthetic, political, and social experimentation. The festival developed a very radical curatorial line, very interesting, giving space to filmmakers that had been repressed by the dictatorship. And we were able to reconstruct amazing initiatives, like one project inside the festival that was called Barrios y Pueblos. Neighborhoods and towns would be like a rough translation. Yeah. And the goal of which was to decenter the program of the festival and to redistribute the screening venues in the territory to transform an elitist festival into a democratic one. We could discuss later, if you want, some of the main conclusions of this project. In the second year of our research endeavors, we decided to go to the beginning and to interrogate the very complex and unknown relationships between the festival and the Franco dictatorship. The festival was established in 1953 in a very particular moment of the history of the Francoist dictatorship, in a moment in which Franco was trying to transform the public image of the regime in the international arena, moving from a fascist-inspired regime, which it was, towards an American-friendly ally in the Cold War arena. And as we know, after decades of interesting research in the field of festival studies, like many other festivals that were born in the 50s, San Sebastian itself was also an important piece in these geopolitical strategies in the Cold War. So we decided to investigate, on the one hand, how the festival operated as this international space of legitimation, cultural legitimation and openness of the Franco regime, but also how inside the festival incorporated the tools of political censorship. These two topics, how the festival became a diplomatic tool for the regime and how the festival implemented censorship, were, let's say it this way, taboos in the history of San Sebastian. As any other institution, maybe the festivals in particular, are reluctant to discuss the uncomfortable episodes of their past histories. We can remember, for instance, how difficult it was for Berlinale to accept the Nazi past of mythical director Alfred Bauer. Yeah. We could also quote how difficult it is for Venice to stop using the name of Giuseppe Volpi for their prizes. Giuseppe Volpi was a fascist minister and a colonial governor, a really nasty guy. And still nowadays, Venice is still using this and is very reluctant to establish like a public debate on this kind of stuff. I think that the San Sebastian Film Festival was very open and courageous to support this kind of research. We had the full support of the direction of the festival to investigate these kind of topics. And the conclusions are amazing, illuminating, and I think an exercise of democratic memory that we are obliged to do from a public institution. This was our second research chapter. Our third research chapter coincided with the progress of our preservation and cataloging work on the photo collection of the festival. Up to that point, the third year of the project, we had no access. We were not able to explore the photo collection. So this is yet another example of how connected were the technical processes and the research critical processes. So in this third year of the project, we had the availability of thousands of new images, of new photographs preserved in our archive. So we started browsing these images, and we realized that the repertoire of images that have been made public about the film festival, or the San Sebastian Film Festival, even if there are like thousands of images circulating, the repertoire is very reduced. We have like great stars attending glamour events, super chic and exclusive parties and cocktails. But in the archives, we were finding this amazing diversity of scenes, photographs of the audiences attending the screenings, the role of women throughout the history of the festival, the faces of the first women filmmakers who came to the festival, and so on and so on and so on. So we decided to adopt a feminist point of view to critically analyze the visual history of the festival and put at the fore images that were not part of the visual canon of the film festival. It was like a very, very fun, insightful, and exciting research chapter in our project. And lastly, in our fourth year, we paid attention to a more recent episode, a very interesting one. In the first half of the 1980s, a young curator who also passed away recently, very sadly, Guadalupe Echeverria, created a festival inside the festival. We were in the beginning of the 80s, in a moment in which video became like the one of the most promising trends in the production of moving images and sounds, radically democratizing one who diversified the people who were producing moving images, but also the aesthetic languages of the moving image itself. And Guadalupe Echeverria, this young student who was in Paris, had this idea to present to Luis Gasca, actually, who at the time was the director of the festival, this idea: why don't we organize a festival devoted to video? And this festival that lasted for 3 years became an international meeting point for curators, video artists, filmmakers who were experimenting with the video format. And it became like a very, very, very important meeting point in the international scene. And we have all the documents related to this experience. So we activated different exhibitions, conferences, interviews, presentations related to this amazing episode of the festival. So as you see, we're talking about very different topics with different research strategies, with different working materials, but with a common thread: trying to diversify, trying to enrich, trying to decenter traditional histories of the San Sebastian Film Festival.
Absolutely. Correct me if I'm wrong, but at least the first two research are available now as an online presentation, online exhibitions in Archivoa. And well, it's very interesting because a festival in transition is alongside the images, so we can see, for instance, Luis Buñuel with Carlos Saura. It's an amazing picture of the two great Spanish filmmakers. But well, also the audiences or the ambience that was in barrios y pueblos, villages, and I don't know how you translate it, but we can translate it essentially. And I don't know the two last ones you said, because I've been looking for Guadalupe, and the photographs. Are they available at
Yes.
Cinemascola or yeah?
In this section of the Archivoa website, research, you have like different formats in which we are sharing some of the results of our research. You have a section which is called Historiac, in which you have like some short essays combined with archival materials, in which you have like materials related to the different research chapters. You have, as you said, the online exhibitions, which are more visually oriented. But we also have recordings of some of the conferences and seminars we organized. You have like the complete recordings of the presentations with great lectures given by some of the students who were part of the research teams. So there is like quite an interesting diversity of materials and languages in which we are like socializing the results of our research.
Yes, absolutely. I've seen, yes, in the presence, absences, and representations of women, for instance. I've seen there's the presentations of the researchers, the students, then of this. You have like this whole material. So, what about now? Because you've been with the project like from 2018 to 2022. But what's the relation you have now and also the Elias Querejeta Cinema Escola with the project? Because, okay, you did like the hard work. We reached the deadline. We made our work. But what about the future?
Well, the archive, as I said, already is an open archive that anyone can use either digitally or in person, paying us a visit to the amazing city of San Sebastian. And sure. The project now is in hands of the excellent team of workers of the festival. Cinescola still is a partner of this project. This project will always be a joint initiative of the San Sebastian Film Festival and Elias Querejeta Cinescola, and I'm part, together with other members from Cinescola and from the festival, of the, let's say, steering committee which oversees the continuation of the works of the on the archive. Because the archives have something, it's like a course. Once you start an archive, you need to keep spending money and time of work forever, because it needs maintenance. You need to keep cataloging, you need to keep digitizing, you need to keep acquiring materials. And luckily enough, the festival is taking very, very seriously its duties in keeping its own memory, and it's investing money to keep this archive alive. So I really think, and this is not institutional propaganda, but connecting with something you said about the anniversary in Cannes, etc. I think, in a sense, there is a model to be followed here, because this was an extremely expensive project, and one that has not an immediate return, an immediate media return. It's something sometimes counterintuitive with the will to have an immediate media impact. It's like a slow motion project. It operates with the tempo of research, which is slow, it's sophisticated, it's not evident in the first sight. And I'm very, very, very happy to see that such a huge institution such as the San Sebastian Film Festival decided to do it itself. Because, for instance, one important difference, Cannes has an amazing archive, of course, but the festival delegated its archival duties to an external agent, in this case, Cinémathèque Française, which is not even in the same city. So now, if you want to do research on the Cannes Film Festival, you need to go to Paris, and you will be working...
I've been there, I know it.
And you, of course, will be working in the state-of-the-art facilities with the most amazing team of professionals, which is Cinémathèque Française. And of course, it's a perfectly professional and interesting decision. But the singularity of this project is that the festival itself decided to incorporate something which is not in its DNA, so to speak. A festival decided to become also an archive. That's one of the strongest singularities of this project. And this has meant a mutual learning. We, as researchers, we have learned something about the institutional culture of a film festival. But the film festival also has learned something from our, let's say, work ethics or standards or methods. So there's something very unique in this collaboration between Elias Querejeta Cinescola and the film festival, which is mutually transformative.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, I love, and I have, been covering Cannes for more than 10 years. I love what it discovers. The first year I went there, I thought they don't know how to organize a festival. They have to ask San Sebastian because everything is given and whatever.
Wow.
But for me, what's the difference is the scope of the archive you have now open for the audience. I think, I don't know if you know about this, but I think there's no other festival around the world that has such a big archive open to, whoever or to researchers.
Uh, this is true and not true. Um, for instance, the Cannes archive, it's amazing. It's huge. It's very well preserved, very well documented in the premises of Cinémathèque Française. The Venice Film Festival archive, it's part of the amazing state-of-the-art archival facilities of the Art Biennale. I won't dare to compare or to try to classify these archives. I would rather stress the singularity of our project in the sense that it's the institution itself, the platform that is activating this archival culture. That's the singularity, and one reason to be proud of this project. And I'm very fascinated on the way the archive project changed the way the festival tells its own history. To see how transformative having this awareness of the past is for the actual operations of a huge institution in the present. There are like many examples in that sense. For instance, this is like an anecdote, but when some years ago the festival announced a service, childcare service, to stimulate the participation of people who has like minors in charge in the professional activities of the festival. It was announced as a brave new initiative, unprecedented initiative in the history of the festival. But we from the archive, we went with our yellow old papers to say, wait, this is not true. In 1978, a group of amazing feminists in San Sebastian, they organized a self-managed childcare service. So the director, Jose Luis Rebordinos himself, he often reminds this moment to say, oh, wow, so there is a genealogy of things. There is a historical depth in the things we do. And this is a reason to be proud of. It's a reason to understand that we are responsible with our actions in the present to keep alive the efforts which quite often come from social struggles of people from the past. And this is just an example of among many others, but we were really moved and really touched when we realized that important and relevant initiatives and innovative initiatives in the present had a resonance with the history of the festival. So we are not talking about, separate departments, past and present. The past is never past, as Faulkner said. So yes, when you see this in action with material specificity, it's really moving.
Yeah, that's important when you can show that even in 1978 there was a childcare service. That's important. We are reaching to our 1 hour limit, and I don't know if our guest, if Beth, Brendan, they want to intervene, they want to say something, because I feel like as we've been talking. Brendan.
First of all, Pablo, thank you so much for this. And Antonio, thank you so much for organizing. But the work that you and your team have done is remarkable. Just having the opportunity to, as you've been talking, also browse through the site is really inspiring. So congratulations.
Thank you.
I have a question for you, building off all this expertise that you've gained over the last several years of doing this project. And on this question of actively working to decenter the history that we have told ourselves about festivals. In a month and a half or so, I'm supposed to go talk to the Film Festival Alliance folks here in the US, who are, for the most part, not like San Sebastian, right? Like, as you know from your time here in the US, probably the vast majority of festivals are quite a bit smaller than you. And the idea that, although they very much want to archive their materials in the way that you're describing here, They don't have year-round staffs. They don't have facilities. And so they're looking to be opportunistic in partnerships, much in the way that you described at the outset of this process. Scaling up, I mean, it's inspirational to hear about you talk about the San Sebastian model. It's something that we might pitch to festivals as a way to not have to, partner with, we don't even really have the equivalent of the Cinematheque Française there in the US, but is there something to be gained from what you've learned with San Sebastian about the work that smaller and more, let's call them contingent festivals, can do in archiving their work? I'd love to hear it, and I'll take notes as you're talking.
Absolutely. Even the smallest archival initiative will be the seed of larger developments. What we realized is, as we progressed with our archival initiatives, we were incorporating the interest of more people. The more we advanced, the more interest we had. In the beginning, when you talk about the archive, people get bored. It's and it's not their fault. It's difficult to understand. It sounds like an obscure concept only for nerds. It sounds like a boring thing related to the past. But when you really incorporate a critical point of view, when you reach the point in which the small things that you are doing touch the questions of the present, when you connect with the interests of the people in the present, suddenly there is someone who appears with this lost poster of the history of the festival. Then there is someone who says, I know this guy who attended this screening, and you can record his or her testimony. And the network keeps growing. So I understand perfectly the budget constraints that a small festival can have. But they can start by asking themselves, what are we doing year after years with the materials we generate? It's a very simple question. And festivals operate in a radical present tense. You need to prepare this year's edition, and when it's done, you need to start thinking about the next. So opening this additional tab about the past, this awareness of the past, it will have transformative effects. Even if you start with something as simple as, how are we organizing the digital photographs we took in this year's edition? And then you can start asking the people in this festival community, which is the oldest material of the festival you have located? And this will start a conversation. Oh, so we need to talk to this guy who was in the beginning. Oh, but look, this guy has this DVD from the late 90s with a lot of images, and you need to save this. So these very small scale collaborative initiatives can lead to greater change. So I would encourage you to plant the seed of the archival awareness in the very festival community, because one good thing about festivals in general, but particularly smaller festivals, is that there is let's say, affective connection with the institution or the structure. This enthusiasm can fuel really, really interesting and subjective approaches to the legacies of the festival. Maybe this is not very practically oriented to start something, but I have to say that I would love to be in touch if I can be of any help to activate.
I certainly will drop you a note. I see Beth got her hand up, so I don't want to ask follow-up questions, but to say a follow-up statement that it occurs to me as you're talking that in the U.S., so many festivals depend on foundation, state and federal grants to underwrite their operations. And one thing that we can perhaps be better at as academics is encouraging those granting agencies to include small line items for archival costs, and then develop these partnerships, much as your school has developed a partnership with San Sebastian, so that the festivals don't need to roll their own archives, but can come to universities, which often have those archives and just need the budget to actually do the accessioning and all of that.
Absolutely.
Okay, sorry, Beth, take it away. Good to see you too, by the way.
What is that weird thing in your background? But anyway, I know
I bought 45 pounds of popcorn this morning, and we have our big creative showcase this weekend for our graduating students. But I thought I had a big order. When I got to the place, the NFL is having its draft in Detroit this year. And it so happens the place that I bought this popcorn from was making 25,000 pounds of popcorn for the NFL draft. Sorry.
Thank you, Antonio, for organizing this event, and Pablo for your really wonderful talk. I'm so glad that I was able to make it. I have a really quick question, so I'm not even going to bother to explain too much. My question is language and language accessibility. Especially, I'm very intrigued when you brought up that international scholars and hope that in the future, perhaps you can provide an opportunity for them to be in residence and conduct works. And in my experience, there's something very, very seductive about the material specificity, and also being on site in that space. Whether if it's a Cinematheque in Paris or the Venice Biennale, which I've been to both. And remember, my experience was actually more in all of the space than actually doing the research. And then also later with the Biennale too, that I realized that actually there's more materials on their website than that I could find, because then I need to know how to find these things and then where to find them, which my basic French doesn't really get me anywhere. And then San Sebastian's, I think that, yes, you may have a lot of materials that were already translated, or, there's an inclusion of English, but of course you would have also, the vast materials there would only be in one specific language, or it could be made easily accessible to people who also speak the language, but then it would be more limited to people who don't speak the language. So I'm just curious, what do you think about this, and what are some of the steps that you think could, in the future, that could make these materials more accessible?
Yeah, you're pointing to a fundamental concern of us. In our case, in terms of the digital accessibility of not the materials itself, because a document is written in the language in which it's written. We could translate it, but we're talking about thousands of documents, so that won't be possible. So to talk about the interface of our digital tools, we need to work in 3 languages, which are Spanish, Basque, and English. So this was already something which was incorporated from the beginning in our work. We have the tool of artificial intelligence to speed up some processes, to automate some processes, but everything is human controlled in our website. But we are pretty much satisfied with the usability of our website in English. And there is a great effort to make every content available in the 3 languages, which means the mobilization of an amazing amount of budget. But as you said, trying to attract the interest of international scholars, I think that we need to take seriously the idea of the residence. It would be pointless to drop you in the archive like that, like a parachuter, and then you do your thing. I think it's very important to come here with a project that our team knows in advance, so we can accompany you in the navigation of the archives. It's not. I think the idea of residency, of spending at least 2 weeks here in conversation with my research team in the school, with the team of archivists and experts in documentation in the festival, with the festival staff itself, with other agents in the city. This means the whole experience of using the archive. It's not you come from the US or from any other point in the world, and here you have the keys of the archive. Ciao, we close at 5 p.m. The idea is to feel that you are in a community who is also actively participating in your research. So I think that's the turning point we would like to encourage. I don't know if I'm responding to your question. It's a dream more than a reality, but when I talk about residencies, this is the kind of model or framework we would like to encourage in the future.
No, thank you so much. I mean, I would also wanted to, you know, take advantage of this opportunity. It's just a big backstory is I recently, or, you know, it's been a while, but I recently discovered that Taiwanese director Edward Young has shown films as Son Sebastian. And, you know, we know these basic information, but I didn't know more beyond just the year or the films that were shown. And I wanted to find out more about it. And, you know, and I think the idea of being able to maybe dive more into this project, but also you mentioned being in the actual place and the city, and then, you know, spend time and working with the community. It's such a sexy, seductive idea that it's you know, it's very attractive. The only, I think, disadvantage is I'm not taking any Spanish lessons, so there's something I want to get to. But yeah, that's just a quick response. And again, you know, thank you so much. And
Thank you.
Brandon too. I love this small crowd.
Antonio, feel free to share my email with both of you. I would love to keep in touch and exchange ideas, and if I can be of help anyway, it will be like a great pleasure, really.
Perfect. I've already sent an email to you with a copy to Brendan, so I'll do the same. I'll introduce you
With Beth.
virtually.
Amazing.
Well, because that's what this talk, what these encounters are about, to foster, to ease or research or different projects. So, well, for me, that's very productive. Very happy to encourage. So,
Absolutely.
I guess I need to run, unfortunately, to another meeting. And so I want to thank again Pablo, and also thanks to Antonio, and hi to Beth. And I'm sure I need to thank you for something. I just can't think of what it is quite at the moment. But if you come to Detroit, I got lots of popcorn.
I also have to run. I have to go teach. But
Thank you. Enjoy the popcorn.
Adios.
Ciao, ciao.
Okay, so I think we're done. Unless Beth, you have something else to say, but it's been an hour. I think we've covered everything. Or if you want to say something else, Pablo, for me, it's well.
Thank you, Antonio, for the opportunity to discuss this project. And the only thing I have to say is visit the archive and use the website.
Absolutely. We'll do so. And well, we'll try to visit also in person, because San Sebastian is such an welcoming and interesting city. That's a very great place to go. Thank you very much, Pablo. Congratulations for all the work you've been doing. And thank you again for all the work you're still doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Antonio.